Hey, I had a student ask me about this problem in the 1.7 homework. It's asking you to compose two functions. You're given that f of x is 2 minus x and g of x is 4x squared plus x plus 3, and I've retyped those over here on this Word document. And then A says find the composure of f with g, which means f is the outer function and g is the inner function. And so g is my input. And notice that the f function says whatever my input is, I take 2 minus it. So f of g of x will be 2 minus g of x. Now then, I just go up and replace g of x with what g of x is. So that will be 2 minus, and I want to make sure I use a grouping symbol because I'm subtracting the entire g of x, not just the first term of it. And so I need to put the entire function in the parentheses. So that negative gets distributed, and so I get 2 minus 4x squared. Let's see if I can do there we go. And then it's going to be a minus x. I don't know how to get down. Minus x minus 3. See if I can get that on one line. There we go. So that negative got distributed to both of those. And then I can combine like terms. I have a positive 2 and a negative 3. And so it looks like my final answer will be negative 4x squared minus x, and then positive 2 plus negative 3 will give me a negative 1. And if I come over here and look, that is the correct answer to that one. All right, let's look at number 2. Or part B, I guess. And I need to get out of that. There we go. That should take care of it. Okay, let's do part B, and that would be g of f of x. Oops. And so I notice this means g is the outer function. So I'm going to look at its function, and my inner function is f. And so my g of x function says whatever my input is, I square it and take 4 times it. I add it, and then I add 3. And so what that is going to look like for me, let me get to my equation editor so I can type it in. It's going to be 4, and then times f of x. Notice I'm putting f of x in instead of x because my input now is f of x. That's what composition is. Plus, instead of x, I'm going to replace it with f of x plus 3. And the second step in then is going to be to go in, and everywhere I see f of x, I will replace it with 2 minus x. So I replaced every input in g with f of x, and now I'm going to go replace f of x with 2 minus x. So I'm just going to copy that if I can. But I'm going to go in, and everywhere I have an f of x, I'm going to replace it with 2 minus x because that's what f of x is. All right, then I actually have to square 2 minus x, and that's going to be 2 minus x times 2 minus x, and I'm going to use FOIL. And so I'm going to get 4 times, let's see, 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times negative x is negative 2x. And then I have another one of those because of my outer and inner. And then my last is going to be negative x times negative x, which will be x squared. And then I guess I have to get out of that. And all I've done is this first piece, 4 times 2 minus x squared. Now I'm going to have a plus 2. I'm going to have a minus x. And I'm going to have a plus 3. And then I'm going to combine all my like terms. So I'm going to get 4 times 4. Well, I guess I should add these two first. I'm going to have 4 times, let me copy this. But instead of minus 2x minus 2x, I'm going to have a minus 4x because I'm combining those two terms together. And then it looks like I can actually combine this 2 with this plus 3. So I'm going to get a plus 5 and a minus x. Now I'll distribute that 4. So I'll get 16 minus 16x plus 4x squared. Let's see if I can copy and paste that x squared. Take out that plus. So I just do what I can. Okay, so I've distributed the 4, and then I'm going to have the plus 5 and the minus x after that. And finally, I'm going to group my like terms together. And so I'm going to start with the 4x squared because that's the highest power. It's just easier if I start with that. And then I'm going to have a minus 16x and a minus x, which is going to give me a minus 17x. And then I'm going to have a 16 and a plus 5, which is going to give me a plus 21. And let's check it. Yep, that's right. Now when I want to find f of g of 3, I can go up here to what I found for the f of g of x function, and I can put 3 into it. And so I'm going to get negative 4 times 9, which is negative 36. And then minus 3, which is negative 39, minus 1, which is negative 40. And if I want to find g of f of 3, I'll come down to this one and put 3 in. And I should get 1. Hope that helps. Keep those Ask My Instructor questions coming.